So day 12, we are going deeper into JavaScript. We set up GitHub and working on Trafalgar page. So let me show you what we have. So this is our JavaScript. Let me make more space a bit. So we have quite a few lines of code, and basically all of it is just practice. What's interesting is that we were going more into objects and learning that properties of objects can have properties of their own. So I guess you can have levels of objects and properties, so you can nest properties within properties, basically. Which I'm not entirely sure how we'll use. Well, I can kind of see how it could be used. The example that the professor gave is that if we have products at the store, then the list itself would be one property, and then within that list we would have price, color, or type, and so on. So I guess that would be one of the examples. And then another cool thing that we were learning is variable type. I don't remember exactly how it's called. I think it's Boolean, something like that, like Boolean. But basically it's a logic variable, so the answer that it gives is either true or false. So that's useful because most of the programming is giving a condition to a computer and asking whether something is true or false. So that's what we've been trying, and let me show you some examples. So this is basically explaining that if things, well, we used two conditions. One was and one was or. So with and condition, both things, or as many things as there are, they have to be true. So for example, if we have condition that 1 is more than 0, so that has to be true, and then we have a comma and something else says 2 is more than 4. So both of those things have to be true in order to get an answer that the condition is true. If one of them is false, then the answer will be false, versus with condition or one of them, at least one of them has to be true. So the only way we would get false answer is if both sides are false. So yeah, and then we tried a few examples, so we can see here. So if we ask if 3 is more than 2, then we get that, let me see which line it is, here, that it is true. I believe that's, no, that's not the line. 170. Yeah, so we get that this is true. Yeah, so we played with this a bit. As you can see, it is still a bit confusing. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. And this was also just mostly theory, so it's kind of hard to know exactly how we will be using this before we have more practice. but I think on Monday we're getting some tasks, so we will get to try it out. Another thing that we worked on, let me close these, because I'll show it in a better way. So we set up our GitHub. So GitHub is something that allows connecting your code into repositories. So basically, as you're working in the Visual Studio Code platform, things can get synced and saved on GitHub, which allows you to keep different versions of the files and also just have your work saved. So we put these two projects in here. Let me show you how we can see the changes. So the changes are called commits, and if I press on this, and you can see which code you used. So here we can see the changes. You can see the first commit, so basically the files have been uploaded. And then I can write comments saying what was changed, and if I press on it, then I can see exactly which lines have been added, or taken out, or changed. So that's useful for tracking changes. If something stops working, then you can always go back, fix it, take the older code, apply that, and solve problems that way. Another cool feature of this GitHub is that if you go into a project, which I'll do right now, you can create a link. So instead of hosting it on your server or a hosting site, you can just directly host it on GitHub, and then I can visit this link, or somebody else can visit it for that matter, and they can see a working page. They can navigate through it and see how it looks under development. So this is the Trafalgar page that I've been building, and you'll see that it's mostly done. What I still need to do is add graphic elements and work with positions and sizes a bit, because well, these should be going a little bit more to the side, and this should be a little more narrow, but it should match with this, so this should be also a little narrow, and this I guess would be a little more narrow as well, but it's mostly done. Just the graphic elements are left, and this is fully running on GitHub instead of my computer. So these are the updates for day 12. We're going deeper into JavaScript, and yeah, so I guess I'll update when we have more things and more practice.